Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of If I'm Being Honest. So, as you can tell from today's title, the episode is all about our ego and how we're so comfortable protecting it. And sometimes I don't think it's necessarily about not caring or not showing we care, but I think we care too much to risk being rejected. I was watching a podcast recently and they talked a little bit about ego, made me think a little bit about it as well. I was thinking about how easy it is for us to act like we don't care. It's become almost a second nature for us to just take a step back, to go quiet on people, and we convince ourselves that distance means dignity. But I don't think it's that. I think a lot of the time it's not dignity. I think it's just avoidance. It's easier to disappear a little bit, to take a step back, to go quiet. And it's easier to do these things than to risk being seen. And I think we've gotten really good at rebranding our fear into something that sounds really respectable. We call it having standards, we call it self respect, we call it protecting our peace. And sometimes it is that, and sometimes you have to do that. And I'm not saying it's not good to not have boundaries, but I think sometimes it also just comes down to having too much ego. I think we're too full of ego sometimes, and we let it get in the way of things like reaching out to someone. And I'm not saying like reach out to your ex or anything like that, but someone you left things a bit off with, someone you want to reach out to, something that doesn't sit right with you anymore. You let your ego get in the way of reaching out to those people. And it's not just that, it's like sending a message first or admitting that you like someone. We don't want to do these things. We let our ego get in the way and we don't do this. And instead, we kind of sit in it, when in reality, we should probably just drop the ego and we walk around pretending like distance is dignity, when in reality, it's fear dressed up as pride, and no one wants to admit that. So we choose silence over vulnerability, not sending a message first because they should. It's their job to do that. It's acting unbothered when you're actually thinking about this all the time. It's pretending you don't care when in reality, you do care about this. And I catch myself doing this a little bit too, telling myself if they wanted to, they would. And I'm I find it hard to be honest about how I feel. Because the truth is there are so many moments where it's so simple. It's saying you miss someone, admitting that something or someone hurt you, asking someone where do we stand, being the one who cares first, or at least saying that you care first. And these things aren't complicated, especially, sitting here and saying these things. They aren't complicated, but they are vulnerable. So we don't do that. Vulnerability scares us. And instead, we choose the easy way out. We take a step back, we go quiet on the other person, and we create this distance between us. And then we convince ourselves that it's power. But if you really think about it, it doesn't feel power. I think it's the opposite. It's probably a little bit like anxiety inducing, and it's overthinking, and it's replaying conversations in your head or checking your phone to see if they finally got the courage to text you back. And that doesn't sound or seem powerful to me. It seems avoidant. And I think that's also the hardest part to admit as well, because our ego is very loud and our ego tells us don't double text, don't let them know you care. If they wanted to, they would. And it's not just our ego, because it's all over our social media now as well. When you do these things, you turn everything into this quiet score-keeping game. Who reached out last? Who cares more? Who has the upper hand? But that's not honesty. Honesty sounds like saying, "Oh, I like you. I'm confused about the situation. I don't want to lose whatever we have going on." And the truth is, honesty risks rejection, and our ego protects us from it. So we choose our ego. And then we walk around wondering why everything in our lives, our friendships, our romantic relationships, are so surface level. And we wonder why nothing in our life really sticks and why everything feels a bit uncertain, like we're not really walking on solid ground. And that's why I think maybe the real confidence isn't in holding back. Maybe that's not the power move. Maybe real confidence is being the one who is honest first. Because I don't think distance actually protects you from getting hurt. I think it just guarantees that nothing real ever gets the chance to happen. And at some point, I think you also have to ask yourself, am I just protecting my peace or am I protecting my ego? And I think if we're all being a little bit honest, we're not losing people because we show them we care too much. We're losing people because we don't show them at all that we do. So drop the ego and reach out. And see you next week.